Come back
Okay.
to the meeting to adjourn.
That is correct.
Hi, Mickey.
Hello.
So Mark, after we do the resolution ratifying your actions, you're going to say, oh, Mr. Chairman, we're going to need an executive session.
That's correct.
Okay. And then I'll call for a motion in a second and we'll go into executive session. And then when we come back from that is when we'll have comments from trustees, staff, and citizens and adjourn.
Yes, sir.
Very good. I've got 2 minutes to go.
That is correct.
Good morning. Do we have sound?
Yes, we do, Chairman.
Good morning. Before we call the meeting formally to order, I've asked Mark Kranenberg, our Director of Airports, to make a few introductory remarks on housekeeping of how we're going to conduct the meeting. So Mark, if you would please, sir.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, everyone. I want to welcome everyone to this video conference of the Oklahoma City Airport Trust meeting. I just have a few announcements regarding our meeting today. If the video conference is disconnected at any time during the meeting shall be stopped and reconvened once the video connection is restored. If communications are unable to be restored within 30 minutes, then any remaining items for consideration will be continued to later today at 3 p.m. via video conference. The agenda and the documents are located on okc.gov. Anyone wishing to speak about an agenda item, public hearing, or speak under citizens to be heard, we ask that you call area code 405-316-3202 or that you text 405-508-9278. We ask that you provide your name, phone number, the item number, and the reason you wish to comment. If you happen to call in after your item has been heard, you'll be allowed to speak under citizens to be heard. Speakers are allowed up to 3 minutes to comment. I will ask that all the participants, except the trustees, keep your phones on mute until they are recognized to speak. Of course, trustees are allowed to ask questions or comment at any time. With that, Mr. Chairman, I think we're ready to start the meeting.
Thank you, Mark. With that being done, it's time to call to order the October 22nd, 2020 meeting of the Oklahoma City Airport Trust. First item on agenda is to approve the minutes of the September 24th, 2020 Oklahoma City Airport Trust. Please cast your votes. Do we have the votes recorded?
Trustee Salmon, do you have voting buttons? You may need to
I do not.
you may need to press escape on your keyboard
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
select the Chrome button. Perfect.
And the item is passed. Next up is the director's report.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to make a brief comment, as I often do, about the progress of our boarding passenger numbers since COVID-19. The September boarding report we're showing we're still down 55% from where we were September of last year. And this is remaining about, I'd say, fairly consistent. There were some news reports you may have heard earlier in the week where TSA hit a benchmark of screening over 1 million passengers nationwide. And while that sounds like a lot and an improvement, it's still 60% down nationwide in our passenger boardings. And still, that's largely because that business travel has still not been able to come back. And of course, we're concerned as the virus continues to surge throughout the country that we will still be in this range of probably 55 to 60%. We are very interested to see what the holiday travel will bring, because typically what's traveling now are people on leisure and visiting family and friends. That's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that report, Mark. Moving right along, then next on the agenda is the items from Will Rogers World Airport.
Request approval for item A, which is to accept the completed project for the rehabilitation of our terminal access roadway phase 1 with Crossland Heavy Contractors Incorporated. Item B is ratify and approve addendum number 1 for the aircraft lavatory waste disposal facility, receive the recommendation regarding the bids, and award the construction contract to W.L. McNatt and Company for $715,761, approving the contract and bonds. Item C is ratify and approve addendum number 1 for the medium voltage circuit tie-in project at Mike Monroney Aeronautical Center, receive the recommendation regarding the bids, and award the contract to Libra Electric Company for $977,990, approving contract and bonds. Item D is approved amendment number 1 to the contract with Nash Construction Company. This is for the aircraft rescue and firefighting access road pavement repair project. It's an increase of $49,441, and also asking approval for change order 1, an increase of 22 calendar days. Item E is approved change order number 4 to the contract with Libra Electric. This is for the Hangar 8 and Hangar 9 electrical upgrades project at Mike Monroney. It's an increase of $2,147.86 and 45 calendar days. Item F is approved change order number 2 to the contract with Wynn Construction Company. This is for the reconstruction of Station 2 and also the replacement of moving walkways number 18 and 25. It's an increase of 120 days. And last, item G is approved the change order 19 to our contract with Timberlake Construction for the terminal renovation and expansion project. It's an increase of $434,320.55 and adding 4 calendar days. Those are all the items for Will Rogers, Mr. Chairman, and I request approval of the slate.
Thank you, Mark. You've heard the items under Will Rogers. Are there any questions? And seeing none, I will take a motion to accept the Will Rogers items as listed by Mark, and a second. And the item is approved. Next on the agenda are items under general.
Mr. Chairman, I have just 2 items under general: to receive the delinquent accounts receivable report, the construction project status report, and the budget to actual report as of September 30. And item B is to approve amendment number 2. This is the annual maintenance contract that we have for our annual roofing maintenance and repairs contracts with both Alva Roofing and Oklahoma Roofing and Sheet Metal LLC. We are renewing the contracts for their second renewal, respectively, for 1 year or not to exceed $300,000, whichever comes first. Request approval for item A and B.
Thank you, Mark. You've heard the items under general. If there are no questions, I'll accept the motion to receive and a second. and the item is passed. Next are lease and other agreements.
Under leases and other agreements, item A, B, and C are ground services agreements with various companies to provide ground transportation at Will Rogers World Airport. And item D is the approval of an assignment and assumption agreement between D&L Land LLC and Peter J. Smith. This is for the lease of a lot at Clarence E. Page Airport as a hangar site for the storage of privately owned aircraft. Request approval for items A through D.
Thank you, Mark. You've heard the request for items under A through D. If there are no questions, I'll accept a motion in a second to approve such. And the item has been passed.
Mr.
Next,
Chairman,
go ahead, Mark.
request approval for item 7 to approve the requisitions, please.
You've heard the request for requisition approval. Please cast your votes. And the item has passed.
And Mr. Chairman, item 8 is an executive session, and I do request that we go into executive session at this time.
Okay, trustees, you've heard a motion to go into executive session with a second. If there is a second, we will vote and adjourn to executive session. The motion to go into executive session has been passed. We will now go into executive session. We will return. Thank you.
Hey, Jamie, can you hear me?
I think Francis is going in to open the executive session now.
Oh, okay, great. I thought I was the only one with problems. Thank you.